Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We are here to talk with Carola Bravo. The title of this webinar is Rethinking Space in Time of Confinement, discussing Carola Bravo's video art and its relationship with space. For those of you who don't know Carola, she's a Venezuelan, Miami-based visual and video artist, architect, art promoter, and educator with an extensive exhibition and publication list. She holds a PhD in architecture and a master's in art history. Carola is well known for her public art projects, immersive site-specific videos and art installations, and intimate studio work that addresses space and memory, changing territories and their geometry. She's represented by Bernice Steinbaum Gallery, and I want to personally thank Bernice for her support and allowing us to do this presentation today. The program will have several parts. We have divided Carola's work into 4 different subjects. First, we're going to talk about her early works. Then we're going to talk about the videos that she has titled Inhabiting the Space. Then we're going to talk about migration in a section called Moving and Connecting. And finally, she has titled the last and the most recent works, Activating Our Memory. At the end of the webinar, we'll have a question and answer session. So please send your questions. We will use the chat feature of the Zoom presentation. So throughout the talk, feel free to send your comments or your questions, and that way Carola will be able to answer them. So we're going to begin by sharing a screen, and we're going to look at a short video that presents her early works.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Francine, for sharing your time here with me today, with us. I also want to thank Bernice Steinbaum, who has been very important in the development of my work. Her support and her advice have been key in my work since I got here to Miami 9 years ago. And I also want to thank 3 more ladies that have been very important in my, the development of my, especially my video work. Adriana Herrera, who allowed me to show for the first time my videos here at their space in downtown, Aluna Art Foundation. Then Rhonda Mitrani, who invited me to show the second video installation that I showed him here in Miami at her space, the screening room. And Carol Damian, who invited me to do a solo exhibition of 9 of my videos at the Frost Art Museum. So as Francine said, I'm going to start sharing the screen with a presentation of some of my old work or previous work, let's say. I'm gonna start sharing the first group of videos. Throughout time, I have been interested in the themes of change, exile, hope, migration, and there is a guiding thread that links all my artwork that has to do with the representation of the space and the perception of reality. My work has always been related with the space, as you can see in most of these images. They have been like big maps that you can visit, that you can enter. And drawing has been a very important part of the process. Drawing is what links the images with the space. These are installations done in Caracas, Venezuela. It's called geovacuografía. There is a lot of drawing on marble. I used to work with cartographies, and those geometric shapes have been part of public art, as you saw in the previous image of a fence here in Brico, and installations in public spaces, drawings of maps of territories that have changed through time. This is a public intervention in Panama City, in a square. It's done with chalk and acrylic paint. This specifically is an ephemeral intervention that lasted a few months, done in 2013.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your sources of inspiration, such as space, art history, and literature?
Yes. Well, I'm a lover of literature, and especially books and readings and texts that have to do with the space. There are several books that have been very important in the process of my work. One of them is Italo Calvino's Ciudades Invisibles, Invisible Cities, Jorge Luis Borges, and all the texts that have to do with the representation of space, especially. There is one about cartographies that are the same size of the real territories, and that has been very important in my work. Also, the Moren's invention by Bioy Casares, that deals also with the spaces that are represented and that are projected where the actions used to happen before. And that has been very important, especially with my videos. Also, art history has been always an inspiration for my work. I have worked with using the work of other artists, and I have been working on top of them to put my ideas and share them with them. These are public installations. The one that you saw is in a lobby in Brico, and as you can see here, drawing, as I just said, has been something very important in my work.
So these are site-specifics, drawings, installations. How do they connect to the video work that you develop later on?
Well, I think the connection, let me stop sharing the screen. Okay. The connection has been the space, of course. The space used as a base for the work. I use the architectural space, and all its features are very important. I'm a lover also of geometry and measurements, dimensions, but not only these concepts that represent a space, that are physical concepts. Also, the idea of a space as a container of memories. I think inhabiting spaces is the first sign of our existence. And that is very important in my work. And that has been the connection with the videos now.
Sounds great. So, well, you were just saying the connection, but what attracted you to video?
Well, I use video as a medium to express my ideas, as a concept. And I think video has been the best way of expressing the relation between time and space in my work. It's very important in the process of my video work. I work with time also, with layers. Layers of time, one on top of the other one, that inhabit a space and create one whole image, merging different moments.
And what do you think, in your opinion, is the difference between film and video?
Well, a film is a corporation. It's video. It's, I think, is expression of individual concepts and ideas. Um, and even though the video production, the art video production could be done with a team of people, as I do, it is always the view of the artist, the expressing concepts, expressing a, specific idea.
The concept of reality plays a major role in your work. How do you understand it, and how do you transmit it in your videos?
Okay. Reality has to do uh, with the connections with between our now, our moment, and our memories. I think in my videos I try to show all the possible realities. I show the real objects. I show the projected images or actions on objects, the reflection of them using mirrors, and also the shadows. So in the video installations, you see a combination of, of realities that make one reality, one whole reality. Right now, as we all are living a very special moment, and it has been very important for me and for it has helped me to confirm the sense and the path of my video work, which is to work with those all the realities together, and also liminal spaces. We have been living in a liminal space, in a moment in time that is transitional, that we don't know what is coming. It's like a threshold. So this threshold right now has been very important for my work, because I can see that the reality is relative to the moment, to time, and it's a combination of things that happen all together.
So the title of today's webinar is Rethinking Space in Time of Confinement.
Yes.
So what role does space play in your videos? You just mentioned the fact that we've been confined, we've been staying in our homes, we've been thinking about what surrounds us, but you've been addressing that in your work. So how does it play in your videos?
Well, my recent videos, as you will see a little bit later, show that maybe that this moment that I'm living, because I have been very interested in the space always, but right now the space has changed the scale to a more intimate scale. In my videos, I it's almost like a performance. I appear on them and I draw on them, and you can see them at real scale, on real time. There is almost no editing. I'm not interested in any special effects. It's just the video that happens. You see the spectator or the viewer see the video projected in the same way that it was filmed. Right now, the new videos show the same concept in a smaller scale, where you only see my hands. I get closer to the objects, to the actions become very like our daily actions. And I think that has been a result of what we're living.
Let's see some of the videos so our guests can have an idea of what we're talking about.
Yes, I'm going to share the screen again. there. Okay. This group of videos deal with inhabiting, the concept of inhabiting spaces. You are seeing video installations where I am drawing in the space using ladders, and when in most of the images that you are seeing here, I am projected there in the space. I am not there, for example, in here, but I'm projected at the same scale as a real scale. During the showing of these installations, a lot of very interesting things happen, like people coming into the space and talking to me as if I was there, and then they realized that it was just a projection that was happening. Those things are part of what I want to for people to do and to experience, and that confusion between reality and illusion. As you can see here, some of the ladders are real, some of the ladders are projected. As I said before, drawing is a very important part of my work. It's what connects my ideas to the space. It's a way of understanding the space and bringing it into my memory. In here, you're seeing a group of videos. This is called Geometry of Echoes. They are all inspired by Gaston Bachelard's book, Poetics of the Space. They were shown at Bernstein-Baum Gallery, and it was a very challenging exhibition because of the architectural space. The corners of the gallery are very acute. So I used specifically the three corners of the gallery. I used mirrors, so you could see the video projected and the reflection of the video in the mirrors, as you can see here. You can also see the drawing on the left and the objects, the real objects on the floor. This is called Dreamer of Corners and Books. They all relate with the concept of home, of new spaces for us, like immigrant. I'm an immigrant, and the way of making or feeling a home again in a new space. This is called the warm nest. As you can see, there is also changes of a scale all the time in my videos. You can see you can see me inside the space, and then you can see my hands. I go in and out of the space, and you can see that in the videos. This is called home, memory home. This is an installation at the Boca Raton Museum. It was the first time that I used the mirrors. Here you can see the projection and the reflection in the mirror that is projected. And the shadows. The opening of that door, all that is a projection on the space of an action that took place before.
Yeah, so as we can see, there are a lot of levels, a lot of complexities on what you're trying to express, what you're trying to convey. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, about all those layers and all those different moments, because time also plays a role in the creation of those videos.
Yes, and a very important role. Role. Time. The idea of working layers of times makes the videos. I mean, the videos could be infinite because you could keep working layers on top of the other, and that's something that I have always wanted to experiment. How many layers of time I could work in a video and without losing the first layer, as would happen with our memory. It's a way of expressing how memory works, I guess. Um, and that happens in the videos. I have worked several videos that have been done in several years, like with 3 years of difference or maybe more, and that all relates with time and how time changes our actions.
So in one of the videos that we just saw, and you also mentioned briefly the idea of migration. In one of them, there is a suitcase, if I'm not mistaken, in the exhibition you did at Bernice Steinbaum's gallery. There was also a piece of cloth or a tablecloth that belonged to your grandmother. So let's talk about that theme, migration, movement, change.
Mhm.
As a very important part of your work.
Yeah. Well, the concept of movement, in the same way that I say that inhabiting the space is the first sign of existence, that I believe is one of the first signs of our existence, I also consider movement and memory a very important signs of our existence and connections. And I relate movement with migration. That movement, that it's not only a physical movement, but also deals with a lot of our ideas and a lot of what we are. When you migrate, you uproot yourself from your homeland and you have to decide what to bring with you. I always believe that immigrants bring the best of us to the places where we go because we have had to choose and leave behind all that we consider is not important. So we're bringing our essence. We're bringing what is valuable. We're bringing the best of us. And that I work with some of my videos with that theme of migration, as you are going to see in the next group of videos. They're called Migration Dreams. And the concept of connection that I just said is also one of the most important signs of our existence. Is connection is what makes us belong again to the place where we are or where we decided to move. I always feel, I say that I feel like a spider throwing lines to all the corners around me so I can hold myself and don't fall. And that's what I did with this series of videos. I used the paintings of a very important North American painter, Jacob Lawrence, and his series of migration series. I chose 6 of his paintings as a base and a way of connecting my work with the new space that I'm living in right now. I'm going to share the screen right now so you can see that series of videos. Okay. You're going to see before the series that I just said, other videos that deal with the same idea of the concept of migration, as you're going to see here. Okay. This is called moving identity canon. And you can see me inside the circle, inside the map of Venezuela, where I am from, moving around the world, and maybe not knowing where you belong. It's a process that anyone lives when you move from one place to the other one. Okay? And I use this the image of the Vitruvius, as you just said, the Vitruvius Man by Leonardo da Vinci, as the base for this video.
It's also where you're going, but in this particular case, also where you land, because you
Yes.
stop at one point in time.
Yes, it's true. And here you are going to see the series, the Migration Dream series, that is, it was shown at the Miami International Airport. You can see here that I am inside the paintings of Jacob Lawrence. I used for these videos a lot of signs that any immigrant from anywhere could relate with, like open windows, the suitcases here that are very meaningful to me, white dogs, moving water, moving people, a train that passes. You see here the drawing of a mountain that is very important in my life. Is from Caracas, where I am from, and it's taken from a painter called Manuel Cabré, a Venezuelan painter. You can see here opening the suitcase and the yellow butterflies flying around, which have been very important in my work, yellow butterflies, as a symbol of hope. And they are taken from the famous book by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. Here you can see the train station and how time passes. These are clips of the videos. The videos are longer. Opening doors and opening windows and letting the memory come inside the spaces is something very important. And letting in hope, white dogs that are coming inside. The changes of the scale, as you can see here. And the series of immigrant portraits where the yellow butterflies are very important. These are based in Liechtenstein's, three paintings of Liechtenstein's of women crying. And the yellow butterflies are here drinking my tears. And that idea came up of a real thing that is very strange. You can see yellow butterflies that are a group of yellow butterflies from the Amazon that are also migratory butterflies that move from the south to the north, and they come into the eyes of turtles, and they drink their tears because they need that sodium that it's in the tears to keep moving. So I took that real thing, strange but real. I brought that idea to my videos. So the yellow butterflies are drinking my tears as a way of showing that my tears right now are a food for the future, for someone to keep moving.
They're also a source of, well, like you say, source of life, source of energy.
Yes.
Also of hope.
Symbol of hope. They're considered a symbol of hope, and the yellow color also is a symbol of hope in general.
So we are doing this webinar, among other things, because we are in confinement because of COVID-19. So what happens when suddenly we stop moving, and we have to find ways of connecting that are not the interpersonal relationships? It's not me going to your house or you coming to mine, or meeting somewhere for coffee. Last few weeks, months, we've been quarantining our homes. So what happens to Carola Bravo, the artist? And how does your work suddenly reflects or helps deal with what we're going through?
Well, I think that maybe not only for me. I guess this has happened to everybody, that we are moving inside. We had to move inside of us. So it has been a great opportunity to reflect, to analyze, to think, to redesign many projects that we had in our lives, and now adapt them to a new reality. I think we're going to be living a lot of new things that relate with the virtual world, as we have been experiencing. And I think it's going to be very interesting. Technology is going to be a very important part of art. To do artists, us artists have a great challenge to integrate technology in our work in a way of enhancing visual images, and in a way of like inspiring senses in a different way. Very without losing. I mean, I think it's not gonna take the it's not going to take anything from the traditional way of art, the traditional ways of working, but there is now a parallel path that was there, but we just experienced the potential of this parallel virtual related technology world. And video is, I think, is part of that, of course. I think video art could be a way of getting art in an easier way to all stratas of society. And the virtual world is going to help to do that. which is a positive way. It is a positive thing to happen.
So you're being confined. So
Yeah.
you're not going to the studio. You're definitely not working in these wonderful outdoor installations that we saw at the beginning that you did in Caracas or in Panama.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us what you've been working on these past couple of weeks and months?
Yes. Well, a new series of videos that are more intimate, that their production has been at home with very limited sources, but very interesting. I think it has been a very interesting process. For me also, the concept of the studio has been always very, I would say, undefined for my work, because my studio sometimes happens. I mean, the production of my work doesn't happen always in my studio. Okay? In fact, most of the time happens outside. And what happens in my studio, I call it a pensarium. My studio is a pensarium. This word comes from a mentor of mine in architecture, Julio Col, the architect Julio Col. It's a place to think. I do a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of drawing, a lot of connecting ideas and concepts. That happens in a very intimate way in my home, in my studio. But the production, the making happens outside, and it's always a teamwork. I have a group of people that have always helped me with the production of the videos. And I have to say, Gregory De Franca, Julio Prato, and Eduardo Quero, they are my right hands, my rights and my left hands, to make things possible. But the series of videos that I have been working on here at home lately have been done by myself in a very limited way, as I just said, in a very limited but very interesting way. So I'm going to share.
Yes, and I want you to also mention how art history is very closely related to this particular series.
Yes, yes. The series is called Natura Morta Viva. And what I have been doing is using still lives, famous still lives from art history, paintings from art history that I decided to animate, and as a symbol of a new life, of a rebirth. So let me share so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'll keep telling you a little bit more about them. So before you see the Natura Morta Viva, we are going to see a few minutes of also two videos, recent videos that relate with memory. These are two videos called Revealing Views. And it's the first time that I work the videos in black and white. The idea of memory fading in time. So I took, I did a composition of several paintings by Federico Brandt, who is very well known for painting interiors of homes. So those videos were part of an installation, as you can see here, that has drawing on the walls and the videos in the monitors. And this is the Natura Morta Viva series. As you can see, this is a Caravaggio's still life, famous still life. The videos are very short videos, and they show the actions very simple daily actions that maybe a lot of us have been doing during this time of confinement. You're gonna see some of them. This is another still life. And this is located, look, the original painting is at the Uffizi Gallery. I guess a lot of us have been doing also, we have been reading a lot. Liechtenstein's still life. I can imagine also doing a lot of cleaning, as I decided to do here, cleaning brushes. So the process of moving, the process of cleaning, the process of, as you're gonna see in the next one, of lighting candles, those are all symbols of a new life, symbols of rebirth, of things that have to change. Morandi's still life, and in here I'm lighting candles, as you can see. In here all the realities merge, as I said before, real objects, projected objects, shadows, real actions that move like the fire here, the candles lit. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
That's actually the perfect way to lead to the light.
Yes.
Of, you know, what's coming next after this unexpected situation.
Yes.
So we have a couple of questions from the people that have been with us this afternoon. And the first one is they're asking about the process of production. I guess they're asking about the previous videos, not the one that you're making on by yourself at home.
Okay. Yeah. The process is, sometimes I say, is a lot. It's more interesting than the result. A lot of things happen that were not planned, and at the end they are part of the final videos, because it's the way that things happen. The process is a teamwork, as I said. It's I work with a production team that have all the right equipment to produce the videos, and the knowledge also to help me with the concepts and ideas that I want to express. And we film layers and layers of videos that then we put together with almost no editing. And that's something that I always say, because the videos have my videos have that feeling of being almost like a painting that is moving. They don't have that special effect or high quality visual that always is related with video work. Uh, in fact, it's just the opposite, I guess. How would I say? They are very real. Maybe that's the word. They're very real because they are. You see them. The final video shows what we filmed, exactly what we filmed, what in this at the same time, and at the real scale. Uh, so it's a very interesting process.
Yeah, one person that you didn't mention is the musician.
Yes, yes. Julio Prato, yes, I said his name. He has been helping me with the sound of some of my videos. And it's also very interesting because I have to guide him to what I want people to feel uh, with through the sound combined with the images. Mhm.
So some of our viewers are very interested in the butterflies and the story of the turtles and the symbolism of the butterflies and the doves and the birds. So I don't know if you want to extend on that. I'm sure everybody can see the relationship with the books, the literature work, Garcia Marquez you mentioned. So I don't know if you want to expand a little bit on that.
Well, they're all symbols that relate with any immigrant in the case of this series of videos, and that was the idea. I wanted any viewer that see the videos to share the feeling of of immigrants from anywhere, and that I saw two people that have marked my life in a very important way. I saw two people crying in front of the yellow butterflies video uh, at the Frost Museum during my exhibition. So those symbols are from books, from life, from from other people, and they all come together into the videos. Mhm.
So another question relates to your background as an architect.
Yes.
And how does that part of your education influences your artistic view and your artistic work?
A lot, a lot. Uh, my training as an architect is key in my work, and not only for my videos, for all my work. And when I now during this time of confinement that I have been revising some of my old work, I could see clearly that the space has been always the base of my work and the inspiration of my work. And that's something interesting about my studio when I say that a lot of things don't happen inside of it. Usually, when you go to my studio, you don't see, you almost see nothing. You don't see a lot of work. I have never been able to do that because you see pieces, you see projects, you see things that only make sense when they are in the space where they are supposed to be. So the space is what makes that what puts everything together. And that comes from my architectural training, of course. uh, the installations, the videos, and the public art, they're all related with the space and they only make sense in the space.
So another question is, how do you envision the future of art after COVID-19? I mean, you kind of started talking about it, but I guess they want to know, I
Yeah.
guess they want to know about the video production, the digital art.
Yes, I believe without uh, without taking the space of the traditional ways, I think it's going to grow in that way, in the way of that technology can help us take art. Uh, there are a lot of experiments right now with between artists and medicine and things that have to do with technology related with medicine and objects that move in different ways, the virtual reality, uh, a lot of things, incredible things that are happening. And I think this time showed us the possibilities. Everything has been happening, and maybe not all of us had it that clear until now that we see the potential of what we're doing right now, the potential of connecting with anyone, anywhere, anytime. And art could do that. Art could get to anyone, anywhere, anytime if we want to. And that could be a way, as I said before, of finally getting art to everybody, not just to a group, a selected group of people that can enjoy art. Art could be enjoyed, and it could be a very important for many people.
With that idea of sharing art, why don't we, before we go, talk about the Harvest Project?
Okay, great, thank you. Well, Harvest Project is it's an art venture that I created in 2014 at home, and with the idea of promoting art appreciation and art collecting, because I believe everybody should have art in their lives. So I started this uh, dream. It's a dream as an artist of making as many people as I can to enjoy art. So it started at home. What we do, we offer the experience of enjoying art through educational programs. They are targeted to all family members, and all the programs are designed with specific purposes. And um, since 2018, I did an alliance with the village of Pinecrest. And during these 2 last years, all the activities, we did them at Pinecrest Gardens. And it has been very interesting. We moved a lot of people. We did more than 150 events that all relate with art and education. So right now, Harvest Project is also we're revising the whole project and trying to adapt to the new realities. There are a few new ideas that I'm going to be sharing soon on how to keep connecting to people through very creative programs, uh, until we can keep offering activities where we can meet in person. So we're going to be using the virtual platform, and we have been doing it. But I think I'm going to push it more, because there is a great potential there to get to more people that I didn't get before. Because now, I mean, I could offer one of these events to people who live in Spain and in Colombia at the same time, together with the people that are living here, trying to always to to touch all the senses, because I know that is something that a lot of people are very concerned about all with all this way of connecting us through a screen. But I think we have to be open to other ways of touching our senses, okay, in a very creative way. Maybe we haven't even thought yet those ways.
So I think we're up for time, but before we go, I want to thank everyone who joined us. We had people from Caracas, from Bogota, San Francisco, New York, different cities
Atlanta,
of Florida, Atlanta. So I want to
Mexico.
thank you so much for joining us. I want to especially thank Carola for giving me the opportunity to share with her, with you. And again, to thank Bernice for her support. And I don't know if you want to say anything else before
And thank
we
you.
finish it.
Thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Francine, for sharing your time and talking about my work, and also Bernice. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.